Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are and when you are hearing this. My name is Patrice Malloy. I am America's favorite tax strategist. I am also Not Your Mama's accountant. I am the owner and founder of Malloy Management Group. I am here with my good friend, Ms. Karla Ukman, and we're going to be continuing our series about wealth building and how important it is to, in this particular episode, have a money team beside you. Again,
Yeah.
I am the owner and founder of Malloy Management Group. I help you make, master, and multiply your money so that you can create millions at hyper speed and build an unapologetic and unshakable financial legacy. All right, Ms. Karla, can you tell the people who you are?
Yes. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, morning, afternoon. Like Patrice said, I'm Karla Ukman. I am founder and wealth planner of Artemis Wealth Management, and I am not your father's advisor. And I work with women and historically excluded communities where they can come and have a safe space to build wealth their own way. And I do that by providing education and not telling you what to do. It's more of the education behind the whys. So super excited that we get to talk about money team and all the things today.
Can we just take a step back and talk about how you said the goal is to educate and, essentially empower your clients? I think it is so important to work with somebody who is there to help you make informed decisions on your own after being able to obtain that knowledge and basically get, a foundation of what needs to happen. So thank you for doing that, Karla.
Thanks.
Yes. So we're talking about financial empowerment today, right? We're talking about things like the importance of having a money team. So in our previous episodes, we did kind of mention this a little bit lightly, but I think it's really important to understand who should be on your team and what you need to be thinking about when you're on your wealth building journey. If you're just starting out, it's still very important to have, an accountant, to have, a CFO on your team if you're in business. And it's also very important to have a financial advisor if you have some newfound wealth, right? Or if you, maybe received like an inheritance or something to that effect, because it's very easy for people to lose track of all the money that they had because they did not have the proper planning opportunities and they did not know which types of accounts to set up that would help kind of position them, the most profitably in the future. So I think we should open up. Karla, why don't we talk about some of the money myths that we hear or have heard, especially when it pertains to women and investing?
Yeah, I talk about this a lot because I myself have had to do the work to make sure that I wasn't talking bad to myself when it came to money. And we are fed these money myths since we are born. Society, maybe family, cultural dynamics are all giving women falsehoods when it comes to either managing money or how they treat money. And one of the myths that we see a lot of is women are bad at math. I remember growing up and hearing that in grade school that, the boys are better at math and girls are not. And that is simply untrue. There's been tons of studies that have been done, and it has nothing to do with gender on if you're good with math or not. It's all social factors that go into that. Another myth that I even see on the internet right now and all the TikToks and the reels that women are shopaholics, which means that we're bad with money. And have you seen that, Patrice? Do you see that myth on the shopaholics?
I have. The newest thing I've heard is the girl math when we are trying to
Oh my
justify
gosh.
silly financial decisions because it's girl math. Listen,
Oh yes.
it's
Yeah.
giving rude. It's giving
Yes.
it's giving lies. I don't appreciate it.
Yeah. So, the girl math. Oh, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah. And that really does affect, how we have our internal conversations with ourselves when it comes to money. I mean, my own daughter, she's 18. She talks about girl math. I'm so glad you brought that up. I forgot about that because that is making it seem like we are on a different level and we're not. So
Mhm.
when we talk about being shopaholics, there's been studies out there that actually have shown women and men spend the exact same amount of money. It's just on different things. So men will spend money on alcohol or
Mhm.
food or other things that are not maybe as tangible, where you're bringing a bag into the house, because that's where we see all these TikToks where women are hiding these bags, or they're hiding the Amazon packages because women are shopaholics. Well, men are spending the exact same amount. It's just on different things. So that's something that we need to know in ourselves, that it's nothing to do with gender. It if you're overspending, then it's something to do with either blockage or something like that when it comes to your money relationship. And another
Mm.
thing, and that goes into managing money. So one of the biggest myths that I hear a lot of is women are not good at managing money. And that can be as an advisor, that can be as a tax planner, that can be as a CPA, anything. And then also you yourself, your business money and your individual money, and you're managing that household. The newest study that came out, actually, I love this, is 89% of women across the world control or are at least sharing shopping needs in the house. And only
Mhm.
41% of men are doing that. What does that mean? Is that women are actually managing the money without knowing that they're actually managing the money, because society is telling us that we're not. And so we need to take a step back and understand these are some myths that are, and these are just a few, but these are the ones that, we see all the time, that are affecting our relationship with money, we as women. And we're here to help you go through that process and feel comfortable, and then also have a money team that understands these myths and can help debunk them for you.
Absolutely. And just to go a little bit further and to dispute this even further, I read a study that talks about how women are some of the most giving people in the world. When we talk about philanthropy, when we talk about investing, when we talk about creating impact and change in communities, that is where women really thrive. So to say that women don't manage money well, or to say that they don't have it, or that they can't make their own financial decisions, to me is just crazy talk. And I see
Yeah.
this with clients too. And it's like, I'm glad that you brought that up, that women are typically the ones that are managing the household. They're managing all the children's, responsibilities
Mhm.
and activities, the shopping, taking care of all the little things that just happen to appear in the house, magically, that other people don't do, and then ask me how I know. So it's like, what do you mean? We handle money very well. Women make things appear out of nothing, it seems,
Yes.
right? That we are very resourceful. We figure out what to do, how to shift income into other places, how to make sure that everyone else seems to have, what they need. So those are definitely myths. I hope that you are not buying into them. If you have bought into them in the past, let us open your eyes and let you know that it is not true. It is okay to change your money story and the money narrative. So thank you again for bringing that up. And so now that we've kind of covered, those money myths, and we're talking about having that money team, who do you think are some of the most important people that people in general, but especially women, should have on their money team?
Yeah. So, a CPA, a tax planner for sure, and a advisor, a financial advisor, financial planner. And when we have a business, you for sure need a bookkeeper, and we also
Mhm.
want attorneys, depending on what type of business you have and how complicated your situations are. But those are people that we really want to make sure that are in our money team. Is there anybody else that you can think of?
So I know you and I discussed this a while back, and there's a little controversy over, who should be in it. But I always talk about having bail money. It's BAIL, and it stands for banker. And let me just preface this by saying a banker who understands how to put you in the correct type of not only accounts, if there is a wealth planning component to your banking relationship, but bankers that can help you as business owners do things like open up, lines of credit to help your business grow and scale, accounts that you can leverage for like operations, vendor accounts, those types of things. So really having somebody strong in your corner in that aspect as a business owner. An accountant, of course, not all accountants are created equally. And by that, I mean, not everyone does the same thing. There are CPAs who just focus on compliance and, dotting the I's and crossing the T's. There are people who focus on the actual forecasting and cash flow and management, like a CFO. There are people who do tax strategy and tax planning. So it really depends on your level of your wealth journey and what it is that you're looking to accomplish. The I stands for an insurance agent, so definitely someone who can support you in that wealth building piece too. And I know, Karla, you're very familiar with the insurance piece as well as I am. And then the L stands for lawyer. So a legal team, so someone to help you structure your entities appropriately, someone to assist you with your estate planning. So you need these people in some way, shape, or form to help you get the most out of your wealth building journey and just to make sure that you're protected. So that's who,
Yeah.
who my money team consists of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I see that all the time where, and I don't know if you see this too, I'm sure you do, but people think that one person can handle everything. So that doesn't mean that there might not be a little bit of crossover, but
Mhm.
your bookkeeper is not your tax advisor or your tax preparer or your CPA or your financial advisor or your financial planner. They're not. And so what I see a lot of times is people are asking questions to their bookkeeper about, hey, should I do this, this, or this with my business or with my money? And that is why everybody needs to talk to each other.
Mhm.
Because,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
I often say I'm not a lawyer and I don't play one on TV, so I'm not going to give you any legal advice. I can tell you from a tax planning perspective what you should consider because I don't tell you what to think. I just work with clients to empower them to think in general. Um, but yes, it's very important to kind of stay in your lane, know what it is that you excel at, and then if there is an area where there's even some gray, right? If you're not completely confident in it, there's nothing wrong with reaching out, and saying, "Hey, friend, hey, Karla."
mhm.
My
Hey.
financial advisor friend, I have a client that does X, Y, and Z, and I think it would be very, beneficial for all of us to have a conversation so that we can have a holistic wealth plan. So I say that to say it's very important to have that money team, but then also to make sure that everyone is talking to one another during the year so that there aren't any surprise tax bills. We're not opening up the wrong brokerage accounts. We're not leveraging the correct tax planning strategies and techniques because, something changed or shifted in your business that we weren't aware of. So it's really being mindful and having those open conversations. So
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm seeing. Are you seeing anything with your clients that lends to this or that needs some more clarification or discussion?
Well, I like to say if your money team isn't playing nice in the sandbox, then you need to get a new money team or
Mhm.
new team members because no one's ego should be big enough where they can't communicate with each other. If we
Mhm.
think about the ultra wealthy, and that is our goal, right? Patrice and I are here to make sure that we are making millions. Women deserve to make millions, and saying that we're going to make millions is not a bad thing. But if we look at what ultra wealthy do, they have money teams. They do not DIY it. They don't
Mhm.
just have one person on their money team. They have a whole office, a whole team, and they're all communicating. And yes, absolutely. I see all the time where people they work with an attorney, they're drafting up a trust, let's say, and they're putting assets into the trust that shouldn't have been. They're taxed differently, and that's where Patrice and I come in, and we are the experts on how to fund that and we can
Mhm.
help you with that. So that's just an example of what I see when people aren't talking to each other. It can really open up a huge can of worms for our clients.
Absolutely. And it costs a lot of money. Here's one thing that I forgot to mention that I see a lot of, and people, I don't know where they got this from, but you should never put a piece of real estate into a corporation, like an entity. If you're going to do real estate, if that's something that you're passionate about, you invest in it, et cetera, you want to have it structured in some sort of LLC And then also consider putting it in some sort of trust, just again to protect all of your assets. Because when you have a trust, depending on how it's set up, it's like a black box that, creditors or debtors cannot look into, or people from the internet who can just pull your name up on a state Secretary of State search cannot identify and take from you. So I really think it's important that when we talk about that estate planning and working with that team, that once you do start to accumulate these assets, that you're protecting them. Because I know I've seen a ton of situations where people were sued for something silly, right? And then they
Mhm.
lost all of their assets and all of their wealth over something that could have been avoided because they didn't have the proper protection set up in place. So,
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And the best way to think about it is wills are public, trusts are private.
mhm.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And if you want to avoid probate court, right? It's
Yep.
very important to have
Absolutely.
your yeah, have everything that you want outlined and put in black and white so that they can be distributed as such, so it can be followed the way that you want to and you desired in the event, well, not in the event that you pass on, because everybody's going to eventually pass on, but you want to make sure that you have control, or who that guarantor or guarantee of the trust
Yeah.
has control of what your last wishes were. So definitely, definitely having that conversation, making sure that everyone is, consistently meeting throughout the year. And another thing, and I just have to say this, not just once. If you have a money team member right now and you're only meeting one time a month, that's just not enough. There's just so much that happens on a day-to-day basis that one time is just not enough to really truly get an idea of what's happening and then help you plan proactively instead of reactively. So that's another thing I definitely recommend. Meeting
Yeah.
with them consistently and then having conversations on a consistent basis, especially as things change in your business and in your finances.
Yeah. And I was thinking while you were talking about, making sure things are structured properly. And
Mhm.
I was thinking about my industry and how you have a lot of advisors. I mean, everybody probably knows 10 advisors. Well, not all advisors are, structured the same. They also don't do the same things. They are not experts in the same things, and that's
Mhm.
okay. You just got to make sure that you are working with an expert in the field that you need. So, for example, if you need financial planning, you want to work with an advisor that works in the financial planning space, not just opening up investment accounts, because
Mhm.
that's what a lot of advisors do, and that's great. But if you're needing planning, and what we're talking about is actual financial planning, you want to find someone that does that, not just, open up random accounts for you. Um, do you see that in your industry too, where there's
I
different
do.
experts?
Absolutely. I think we have a lot of generalists, quite honestly, just like you kind of mentioned. And if you
Mhm.
are looking to work with the generalist, then you'll get general information, you get general strategies. If you're looking for somebody who is an expert or who specializes in a certain area, then you'll get that level of expertise as well. So it's being very intentional about what it is that you're looking for. It's asking the right questions because again, not everybody does the same thing. Not everybody um, is licensed or educated in the same or certified in the same manner. So really being clear on who it is that you want to work with and what it is that you're trying to accomplish, I think will help you really identify who is the best to assist you and support you. So, absolutely, I see this a lot.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I have seen over the years people thinking that they're working with one person when they're really not.
Mhm.
And I find that when you have a money team, it actually helps you figure out who you're supposed to be working with. Because if you're talking to Patrice and I, and you're saying, hey, I'm looking for this, or we suggest that you need to work with somebody, we can help you guide you into working with someone that is actually an expert in whatever field you need. So having a
Mhm.
money team helps you eliminate that worry of hiring somebody that's not an expert in that field that you need.
Absolutely. I think this is a great conversation. I think that we have, provided some really poignant topics and bullet points for people to think about and start to consider as they're on their wealth building journey. As always, we want to know, how can the people reach you and connect with you to get their questions answered and to get on your calendar?
Yeah. Let's before 2024, before April of 2024 hits, because the end of the year is here and
Mhm.
you're pushing things off. Don't push it off because it'll be April before you know it. So you can come into my DMs. You can go visit my website at artemiswealth.net. You can also go to my LinkedIn page, Karla Ukman, or Artemis Wealth on Facebook. And yeah, just you can set up a quick chat. I do have 30-minute free consultation. So if you have any questions at all, we can chat. And how can they get a hold
Yes.
of you?
Similar to you, the DMs are always a way to do it on Facebook, on my page on Facebook at Patrice J. Malloy. You can find my calendar. You can find my website at malloygroupinc.com on that page as well. LinkedIn, Patrice J. Malloy. I try to keep it pretty simple. On Instagram, it is I am Patrice Malloy, but I think I'm the only Patrice Malloy. Just see it. I think I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but that is me. So that is how you can find us. And we look forward to answering your questions. And just like Carla said, getting on the calendar sooner rather than later, because it's a lot easier to create a strategy that's unique to you, that is going to target, the goals that you have if we have time. If we're, scattering and doing all the things last minute, it's a little bit more challenging to really give you the attention and the support that you need. So the sooner the better.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will see you all next year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Have a great, great holiday.
Bye.